Genji 2 is an action game which is based on Japanese history. Being based on history, the stages of the game will also be based on famous battles which actually took place in ancient Japan. So here's this giant enemy crab.
Well, today on the Giant Enemy Crab podcast, Soulslikes. We're talking about Soulslikes. I can even yell into the microphone. How's that sound?
Ooh, I like it.
Fancy. What is a Soulslike? Who is a Soulslike? Where? Here on the Giant Enemy Crab podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Fliz. I'm joined by my two wonderful friends, KylarEmiya.
Hello.
And Strider1.
Greetings.
And we are here to talk a little special. We really just want to talk about Soulslikes. And I have a question for you gentlemen. Is Mario a Soulslike?
Well, you do fight a giant dragon in one of them, so probably counts.
A very realistic style dragon, too.
Yeah.
But you die. You learn the level. You die again. You learn the level. You die again. It's a static level. Like, is Mario not considered a Souls-like?
I guess it depends on what you consider a Souls-like. What's your criteria?
That's our first question, and one of the most important questions about the genre, and also a very hotly contested aspect is, what does constitute a Souls-like? What do games have to be considered a Souls-like?
Now, I know Iron Pineapple just says if it has a dodge roll, it's a Souls-like. I don't know if I'm in the same boat as him, but I guess he's the professional, right?
Because for me, to be considered what I would classify as a proper Souls-like, in my opinion, there are three things that a game needs to have. I want to see if you guys agree with me here. First and foremost is an emphasis on boss fights and on the game's combat system. I feel like that is very important for Souls-like. Second is limited checkpoints with punishing deaths, like the punish deaths.
Okay,
sure.
I'm on board.
And this third is kind of the hardest to phrase. There is a specific way that Souls-likes do their level, where it's like these intricate, like somewhat compact levels that loop back in on themselves that allow for them to be done in a way that rewards, like, everything is very purposeful with, like, reward, like, you going and exploring each nook and cranny will find you, like, consumables or equipment. But they'll loop back in on themselves and loop back to shortcuts. But basically, it's like one step away from a truly linear game, if that makes sense.
I mean, like, Mario has, like, tubes you go down and come back out in other places, and you got to use those. I think Mario is a Souls-like. I think I'm stating it here as a personal opinion. I think it flies.
Do you? Because from the three things I've said, it doesn't. I would say it doesn't. It doesn't follow the first one. Mario does not have an emphasis on boss fights on its combat system.
Really?
I think it does. I think it's just very simplistic.
I think there is, yeah.
They're
the
very
whole point
memorable.
is to get to the castle, and then you fight the boss in the castle.
Mario is a Souls-like. This is like is a hot dog a sandwich or whatever the fuck people are talking about. Is cereal is soup?
Yeah, so we got that down.
Sure.
Boom.
Nope. I mean, you don't technically fight the boss in the first Mario game. You just run past it. You just touch the thing at the end.
Well, okay, maybe not every single Mario game is a Souls-like, but
But you said Mario. So I thought we were talking about the
Mario. That's the one I was talking about.
You don't fight
right.
the first one. You go right past him. You never actually fight him. You just touch the axe at the end of
You do touch the flag, and that's kind of like a bonfire. You got to get to. Right?
That's why I say it's like, but you could argue a lot of things in this case is just also going to be a Souls-like if you're going to include Mario. Like
going to target is a Souls-like.
That's the first one.
The first Souls-like?
No, that's the first criteria for Mario. Is it does have games where it does have focus on bosses that are very unique.
Yes, but then you could say like Devil May Cry is a Souls-like. Is it? Is everything a Souls-like? I guess the emphasis would have to be
Devil May Cry 8 doesn't have the same checkpoint system that a Souls game does. because it's more like it just has a bunch of checkpoints throughout a level. Like you're never really set that far back.
So is going far back a thing?
It's more just it's in a way it's also a part of it, because all Souls-like games have the bonfire system, right, where you respawn at bonfires. So death is punishing from losing consumables and some other things. But like Devil May Cry is just like retry boss fight, like, or
That's true.
retry encounter.
I feel like having a retry boss fight button excludes a game from being a Souls-like. Like you can't.
Yeah.
That's traditionally, because we're basing it all off of Dark Souls, right? Like that's hence the name Souls-like, right?
Yeah,
So
Demon Souls is the genesis of the genre. It's the first one.
that specific line of games is where this all comes from. And in none of those games do you ever get to just retry a boss.
Because the other thing is that Souls-like in itself is just a subgenre of action RPGs.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I it's fine.
It's why it's why arguing like one of the biggest questions about the genre is what constitutes a Souls-like. Because those were the three kind of criteria I would think of when I was thinking of all like the major example of games I consider like bread and butter Souls-likes to have. Because there were some other common elements that I said, like an emphasis on exploration and discovery, although there's some games that don't have that.
Aren't there games you'd consider Souls-likes that are like almost all boss rushes?
Potentially, but which one are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of like the little anime Sekiro one that people were playing. I think you played it a little bit, but it was just a boss rush game, but it was basically Sekiro.
Yeah, I guess to an extent. No, because one of the other things that I ended up realizing is through this description is that Nightrun is not a Souls-like. Was one part that threw me off.
I kind of feel that it's not in the same category.
It shares a lot of the DNA of the Souls-like games, but Aiden itself is not a Souls-like.
There is no bonfires. Well, there is.
There is.
What kicks it? What excludes it specifically?
It was kind of like the intricate level design, because it definitely has the emphasis on boss fights, but also like the limited checkpoints, I guess, to an extent, with punishing death, because the punishing deaths is just they get the runs over, but that's just also every roguelike. But also, but deaths throughout the actual game before the final night aren't nearly as punishing as in normal Souls games.
You're talking about Night Rain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It can be, because you have to respawn and go get all your shit again.
And the overall structure of the game just makes it more of a roguelike than anything else. Like it shares flavors of Souls-like games. Concerns like combat and bosses, but it's just the entirely different actual experience compared to a Dark Souls game or Demon Souls.
I love that that's like a big point of contention. What even is the thing that we're talking about in this community?
Yeah, it's kind of, I was trying to think of like mainly what all the From Software games kind of had, like as a baseline, and then work to see if I can also include other major games that I would consider Souls-like as well.
Is stamina-based combat a staple of Souls-likes?
It's a common element, but not required, because I would consider Sekiro a Souls-like, but Sekiro doesn't have a stamina system.
I mean, it doesn't specifically, but it has the break system, whatever that is. You know what I'm talking about? The posture
system, yes.
The posture, which could functionally be a stamina system.
It's like stamina adjacent, but it's very much a common element, because some of the other very common elements of a Souls-like are the recharging healing consumable, the stats increased with EXP that incentivize speccing into 1 or 2 strengths in your build, and doors that only open from one side.
I don't even know if I'd include the doors thing. That's so common in gaming.
Specifically, the door does not open from this side.
It's okay. Well,
yep.
I'm used to running into that in horror games where you're like trapped in a big mansion and then you can't get through this door. But then later on, you're gonna. Because Zelda does that stuff too. It's not
things that are only found in Souls-like. It's things that are found in Souls-like, and those are all. one-way doors, for whatever reason, are very common.
Okay.
Yep. Because now I want to move into some of the other questions, though. How much experience do you guys have with them? And what makes the genre appeal to you or not appeal to you?
I don't have very much at all. Because I bought Dark Souls 2. I think you were there when I bought it. I asked if it was any good. And I tried to play it, and I didn't end up liking it very much. I think I just ended up getting lost. And then I kind of lost interest in it. I love Dark Souls 3. That I enjoyed a lot. And then most of the other Dark Souls Souls-like games that I've played not really knowing they were Souls-like games. They just happened to be at the time. So like Code Vein, Jedi Fallen Order, which I didn't realize. I started playing. I was like, oh, yeah, this is Star Wars Dark Souls. Okay, that's interesting.
Ooh. Is that game any good?
It is. It's very good. But other than that, like, I don't really have too much experience. Even like Code Vein, I never even finished Code Vein. Eventually, I forgot about the game at some point and just stopped playing it. So I don't have too much experience about them.
Yeah, you brought this up, and I was kind of feeling the same way. Like, I think Bloodborne was the first one I played, and that was a friend was like playing it online, and he stopped playing it. And he's like, "It's so hard. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know." And I was like, he thought it sucked, and then like 6 months later, went on sale. I was like, "I'll try this," and it ended up being like the best thing I'd ever played. And then Dark Souls 3 came out after, yeah. And
yes.
then
Bloodborne was before 3.
Yeah, and then I remember my homie had a PlayStation. I was living with my bud, and he had one upstairs, and I had one downstairs, and we both had Dark Souls. And all day you just hear like "fuck" from both from the upper and lower floors. That is a standout memory. I remember his girlfriend was getting mad as fuck because we were just screaming through the whole house on different parts of the game. But other than that, I played a little bit of Dark Souls 2, and then some of the off-brand ones. Let's see, Elden Ring I beat, Souls 3 I beat, Bloodborne beat, and then I kind of just Sekiro. I think Sekiro is probably my favorite out of all of them. And then like the knockoff, like Liza P a little bit. Like I never like you're way into, and I'm speaking to you, Strider. You do like the random ones I never would have heard of.
Because
AI limit.
AI limit, yep. You've also played Thymesia, right?
I did. I beat Thymesia.
I'm trying to think if there's any other major ones that you might have played.
I didn't beat. I think those are the only ones I beat. Like Liza P I put down, and Hades. I mean, I beat Hades like once or twice, but I didn't stick with it. That's a Soulslike. Is that a roguelike?
That's a roguelike.
That's a roguelike. Okay. I'll have to think if there's any more that are just like not like ones that I remember very well.
Yeah, because you don't play a lot of
ones.
A lot of the like third party ones, like the non-From Software titles. Yeah, because you haven't played any of the Neo games.
I did. I played Neo 1 and 2 for about 10 minutes apiece and was like, I'm good. I heard the third one's really good though.
Maybe third time's a charm. Give it a try.
It's the best at onboarding players.
Is it? Because that's been my problem with all of them is like all the other ones start out really simple. Here's your sword. Here's a dead corpse telling you to roll. And here's this and that. And then that one, I just felt like there was so much information right off the bat that I was stun locked by choice locked. Is that the word? What's the thing?
Yep. Yeah, no, because Neo games are half spectacle fighter, half Souls-like.
Mm-hmm.
You can do some crazy things with them. Yep. So overall, do you think the genre appeals to you guys or not?
I don't know, because honestly, a lot of the things I like about like Dark Souls isn't even so much that like its actual game mechanics. It's more like the kind of the feel and the setting itself and the characters that I honestly like, rather than the actual mechanics of how the game works, if that makes sense.
Yep, that's fair.
There's something about like Dark Souls that always intrigued me and it's like the let me solo her, or there's a guy on TikTok who cosplays as Patches and just goes into multiplayer games and like clowns on people. Multiple like there's something about this game that's, look, Dark Souls and Elden Ring, they're fun and they're great games, right? But they're like kind of clunky. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
They have a very specific feel to each one.
They do. It's almost like you're controlling a mech or something rather than a fluid character like something in Devil May Cry or something.
It's very weighty.
It's very weighty. And I think maybe that's why I like Sekiro the most, because that one is the least weighty. You're jumping and bouncing around and stuff all the time. But like how involved the community is in the Souls-like games, how they put like didn't they put that Let Me Solo Her guy? Didn't they put like a thing in the game commemorating him or something? Or was that where did
they've done a few things for him overall, but I don't remember what they've officially done.
And if you don't know, that's a guy who runs around and like he's spent years like years just like entering people's multiplayer games as a naked guy with a pot on his head and just helping them defeat, I think, just Melania, right? Is that her name? Melania, whatever. The final boss of Dark Souls 3. I don't know if it was a year, but spent quite a long time. And he's got like a number count. Elden Ring, right?
Yeah, not Dark Souls 3.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. They're all...
Everything is blending together now that we're talking about it. You can't keep it separate.
It all blends together. I mean, I don't...
I think Bandai Namco sent him a gift, if what I'm thinking of. They sent him like a thank you gift. Like they sent him like a fucking longsword or something like that, if I remember. That like has Rise Tarnished embedded on it, plus like a Melania thing and a letter. Plus like just a bunch of a gift basket, basically.
But it's like so weird to have something that is as popular and beloved by the community that is so inaccessible to people who have never, like, if you're not like a gaming person, all the Dark Souls games are the lore doesn't exist unless you know where to look, where to go doesn't exist, how to play. The fact that it kills you right off the bat, no matter which one you're playing, it's super inaccessible to people who are not in the know.
Sometimes it just lies to you. Like, it just lies to you about what the items do.
Yeah.
Or it just doesn't say anything. It's just some nonsense, and you won't even know until someone figures it out.
The pendant, the elaborate gift that does nothing in Dark Souls 1. Yeah, so you kind of touched on it earlier, Fliz. You said your favorite game is probably Sekiro, right?
Based on the like actual playing the game, the combat and stuff, yeah.
Yep. What would you say yours is, Kyler?
It's between Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring.
I think Elden Ring probably takes mine.
I'm really torn between the two of them because I had some really fun times in Dark Souls 3. I feel bad because in Elden Ring, like, the dual gigantic swords, man, they just let you just smurf on everything. It just does. You're not even playing the game anymore. It's just ka-thunk, ka-thunk, ka-thunk.
I don't know what these magic... There was like all these cool magic abilities you could do and skills, and you're like, are any of these jumping heavy? No? Okay. And I don't know what they are forever.
Yeah, jumpy attack. Yes. So along with your favorite games in the series, do you have any favorite areas? I feel like the areas can be very much a major experience to the Souls games.
You know, you're the one who's played the most. What's yours? It's the White Castle place from Code 8, isn't it?
It is. It's his favorite.
It's second to Horsefuck Valley. Like,
Horsefuck. What is Horsefuck Valley?
It's an area in Dark Souls 2's DLC, and it's literally you drop in a coffin, and it puts you out in a snowfield in the middle of a blizzard, and there's just these fucking deer that run, deer horse things. That it's literally like a 7-minute solid run to the boss. but it's literally nothing but an open, like, hilly field that's in a blizzard, and there's these fucking horses that just delete you if they find you. It is, the community has given it the name of Horsefuck Valley. It's like the Boreal Outskirts or something like that. I don't even remember what it's officially called. It will always be Horsefuck Valley. But no, that is not my favorite area. That place sucks. If I'm going to give my favorite place, honestly, one of them, just for the visual, has to be Androlondo. And
is that the castle from Elden Ring? The first castle?
That is not the castle. That is Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3. That is where you fight Smo and Ornstein in 1. The cathedral area. Like the grand architecture buildings. It's right after Sen's Fortress. In Dark Souls 3... In Dark Souls 3, it's where you fight, it's right after Pontiff.
Is that where the rooftops are?
Yes, it's like all the rooftop area.
It's a cool place.
It's very iconic to the Souls series. Which is
it's hard to say like your favorite area about a Souls game, because every time I think of like my favorite area, I think it looks places, cool, and then I just remember just getting absolutely waxed the whole time. Like I just get hit with a giant arrow from some guy like 3 rooftops away that throws me off a cliff and I die.
I will always think
this area looks so cool, ka-thunk, and then I'm just dead.
Part of the reason that I can always think of Androlondo too is because of the Silver Knight Archers in Dark Souls 1, the 2 dudes that are sitting in the archway, like right before you get into the like Smo and Ornstein's like the building they're in, like their giant building. You have to go up like a single pathway, and there's 2 great bow archers that are shooting at you. But there's this fantastic video of some dude who made a build called The Wall, where he just stands in front of them as an invader with like dual great shields. It's the funniest thing. He gets so much hate mail, but it's one of those iconic things to me. Is that
every time?
Go ahead.
Every time I'm thinking of places, like it's just flashbacks to places I got stuck because of some, and I had to like the moonlit flower place at the end of Sekiro where that motherfucker pulls out a gun, and like the burning building in Sekiro where you said you're supposed to go to this place first, and it was the super boss that I didn't know it was a super boss. You're like, you can beat him, and I spent probably like 2 or 3 hours just ramming my head against the one guy in the burning building, and I don't know why you did that to me, because that was awful.
You made him mad at some point, apparently.
Apparently. It's like
you wanted to fight everything. I gave you everything. I didn't.
You did. And I did finally beat him, and then you have to go back and fight some old witch grandma or something. See, there's like levels of like I think, we're definitely like, Lionel's like the lowest where he's like played him, but he doesn't really care about him. I like play him and I like the play of him, but I don't know any of the lore or character names or places. And then Jacob knows everything about every interaction and little item that you just picked up and never looked at again. It's kind of a good balance. There's more places I hate, for sure.
Yeah, I remember when I was playing Dark Souls 3. Starter, you got mad at me because I was fighting it was the second fight where you got to fight the first boss, like the big statue guy that has the halberd, and I was struggling against him. It took me like I think like 2 days.
Gundu, the most fucking scratch deck piece of build.
You were like, "Are you using the normal longsword?" I was like, "Yeah,"
and it's
a good sword.
It's like +6. What are you studs, man? Fucking dude almost cost me an aneurysm.
And I beat him, and I won. Oh,
now to move
it shows you how much I try in those games. Like, I don't know what any of this other stuff does. I got my longsword.
Winning without understanding the mechanical systems at all. I am a vibes-based player and nothing more.
Nothing will ruin my vibe.
Now to move into our next question, what are your favorite boss fights? Considering they're probably one of the most standout things about these type of games.
Oh, it was totally that fight. The
champ, no gimmick.
Champion Gundyr, yeah. I love that fight so much.
One-on-one, you just have to beat the fuck out of each other. His phase 2 is literally him just gamer leaning forward.
I love Champion, is it Gundyr? I'm trying to remember his name. Yeah, Champion Gundyr. Because, like, he was a fight that every time I died, like, I knew that was totally my fault. Like, I know what was coming and I screwed up. And it was like that for every death. It took me 2 days to beat him. I was like getting my ass whooped because I couldn't do any damage to him. So the fights would last for so long.
You had like a +6 longsword. Fucking your guild stat spread was fucked.
So I had to like play perfectly, but it was one where I was like shocked that I wasn't getting frustrated at losing for so long. I was just like having such a fun time just actually like fighting that boss. That for sure is like one of my favorite boss fights in a Souls-like game.
Because I know that people, like a common complaint about a lot of Souls game is there's too many dudes in armor. It's like a complaint I see a lot about like this type of game. But also, I think most of my favorite boss fights in a series are just dude in armor. Like, they make for some of the most compelling fights.
Should be the opposite, because every time I see a dude in armor, and that's all it is, I get scared. Like, those are usually the hardest ones. It's just some guy in armor with like a sword or two.
They also make the best fights. Like, fucking... Because one of my all-time favorite fights in the series, in any game, is Slave Knight Gale. And it's just some dude with a broken sword and a crossbow. And he's going to make you fucking work for that win.
What about you?
I strongly disagree with the guy in armor. Like, I would rather fight guys in different armor more so than, like, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because it's just a complaint I see a lot about these, is that there's too many of them. But I always think they're the best boss fights in these type of games.
They, to me, 100% are. I hate when I'm fighting like a giant enemy, and I've talked about this before. And the feedback is just like so little compared to, fighting a guy. Because the one that really got me, I never beat the Demon of Hatred in Sekiro, because I was like, and I love that game. I think the Guardian Ape, even though we're talking about like guys, I think the Guardian Ape was my favorite, like, the most fun fight for me to do out of all the Soulslikes. And that's the one where his head pops off and he comes again. Yeah. I like that
the fake out. The fake out.
And you gotta like deflect his farts or something. It's been a long time, but I like I feel like I would hate that fight on paper, but actually doing it, like, I really enjoyed it. And then I enjoyed I think Sekiro is the best out of all these, but the Demon of Hatred I got to, and I was like, this isn't even close to the kind of game I want to play. Like, this is some dumbass Elden Ring.
I've killed the Demon of Hatred once, and I'm never doing it again. I always annoy him on repeat playthroughs.
It sucks. And I remember I was on stream, and I was like, all right, final thing, let's do it. And I tried it twice, and I was like, I don't like fighting giant, stupid things. This is not... Give me more guys in suits that I can, like... The other one that's memorable is that first boss from KylarEmiya that we talked about last week. Like, that one was really fun to do.
Carnival guy? Oh my gosh.
The carnival guy. Yeah.
The aura. Dude, I love that character. I can still remember like just him whooping you over and over and again. I was like, yeah, keep fighting him more. I love watching him destroy you. Oh, he has such a cool moveset.
And in line with our discussion here, what makes a boss fight good in this genre, and what makes a bad boss fight in this genre?
I hate when I can't see what's happening. That is the number one, like, this
bad
is trash, get it out.
If an enemy gets too big, that's what the problem is. And that's probably another thing that is why Knight in Armor dudes are so good, is they don't fuck with your camera too badly.
Yeah.
On average.
Yeah, you're playing... It's like... I'm thinking, what's the boss in Dark Souls 3 that turns into... Does it turn into 3 guys? I don't know. It's in the... You get out... There's a giant crab with the swamp, and then you go up to the thing, and there's witches around, and then you go in the one room, and it's a guy, and you got... Yeah, that fight, like, you can always tell what's going on. I don't know why that fight sticks out to me, but because I remember doing it a while back. I'm probably, my favorite fight's the one that I just did most recently. Probably. I can remember them the best. But like, walking in there and knowing exactly what I wanted to do and what I wanted to see, compared to the easier boss, which was like the worms in the gunk in Elden Ring, I think. You know what I'm talking about? The like great worms that are made out of tree trunks and shit, where they're just spinning and thrashing in the water, and you're just like, I hope I'm hitting you. I mean, they're not too hard to kill, but like, it's not fun to do. It feels better. Any boss that lets me like
I'm
parry and see it
is the Dark Souls 3 one that's in the Demon Ruins. I'm like just struggling to think.
Maybe it's not Elden Ring. There's like it's a tree worm that thrashes around in like water in this flooded castle.
Yeah, in the Demon Ruins. I think it's the one you're thinking about in Dark Souls 3. Because it's like this giant
possibly.
worm. The like, oh god, Karthus sandworm or something like that. Great. It's something like that.
It's no, I know what you're talking about. No, it's not that. This isn't even like a boss, the one I'm thinking of. It's just like a... I'd have to remember where it is.
Are you talking about? Oh, are you talking about the tree spirits?
Maybe. Yeah, that sounds right. Yep, that's what I'm thinking of. I just don't like fighting because they're big and they thrash around. And
the attack where they jump up and the camera just like it goes up a little bit and then just gives up.
Yeah, it's not great. Yeah, you're right on the money, Kyler. Anything that's too big, the fire giants and junk like that, like nah. I don't want to have a whole fight where I'm just hitting your toes. That's weird and unpleasant.
Yeah, it's just not great. It's not a great time.
Yep, and if you in these games, because there's always the gimmick boss fights in them. How do you think you do a good gimmick boss in this genre?
What do you mean by gimmick?
Yeah, define gimmick boss.
Because there's always bosses that have to be fought in a way that's outside the standard like way you fight boss in this game. The big ones that Souls games do a lot are Stormruler fights, where it's a specific weapon you have to equip that they have a specific moveset to deal with bosses. So Yorm in Dark Souls 3, the Storm King in Demon Souls, and Rykard in Elden Ring.
I hate that. And I think I hate it just due to anecdotal. I had a competition with another streamer one time on who could beat Dark Souls 3, and nobody thought about the Storm guy, and it was who could beat it using only like the bandit knife or whatever the starting little knife was. And we got all the way, me versus this other streamer, all the way to like the Yorm, and we hadn't decided on rules, and he had already sold his Yorm's blade or whatever. And so it kind of messed up the whole rules. And I was trying everything. I was using like thunder grease and spells and like everything I could to like make it work. And I just couldn't. And it killed the vibe for everybody. And it allowed him to catch up from when I was way ahead. It allowed him to catch up to me. And then we're like, what was the point of any of that? So that pissed me off. I don't like that mechanic.
Yeah, because there's there's the Ancient Wyvern in Dark Souls 3 that you have to kill by plunging attack. It's not really intended to be fought a different way. There's the Demon God in Demon Souls, or not the Demon God, the Dragon God. They basically have to get through the environment. There's Bed of Chaos in Dark Souls 1. They're basically just bosses that have to be fought in a different way. And they're notoriously some of the worst parts. I would also say then Sekiro, the Divine Dragon, counts as one.
Does the guy on the horse count as one? Because I like doing that. In Sekiro, the guy on the horse, you have to like hook with the thing and fly to him, and
because you still fight him with the standard thing. The thing with the Divine Dragon is that you have to use the lightning reversals.
Oh. I don't remember. But is that a move that you just get?
Yeah. Because you basically just because there's the currents that launch you high up into the air, and then one of them is about to be struck by lightning, and you deflect that lightning on the one that is, and then return it to the dragon. And after 5 or so fight returns, it's over. But it makes for it's probably the best gimmick fight just because of the spectacle, and there's still the actual like parrying the actual dragon itself when it does swing at you normally. Like
I think they can be good if they're used in a either a satirical manner, like jumping on the dragon's head, or in a gimmick that is either super story based or fun and easy to do but doesn't require, because a big part of the Souls likes and why it probably pisses people off is you like spend your whole game getting good at doing this like specific kind of combat, whichever game you're playing, and then to throw that all out the window. It's like Final Fantasy 14 making me play some other dumbass character for 20 straight minutes that I don't care about because I've spent, I don't know, 1,000 hours in my one character. Like, don't do that. It's a bad call.
Because actually, now that I'm thinking about it, there's actually a better example, and probably the best example of a gimmick boss in the entire series of FromSoft is the Armored Warrior mini boss from Sekiro. The dude in full plate mail.
I'd have to look it up.
Because if you don't remember, he's the guy on the bridge that's in full plate mail, and the gimmick behind him is that you can't hurt him at all. You have to eventually stagger him and then throw him off the bridge.
Is he the guy that says Robert?
Yes. That's
Robert.
him. Robert.
Why does he say Robert?
Because that's his son. It's the monks of that area said that they would heal his son if he stopped 100 intruders. I think it's like 100 or 1,000 intruders. And that's why he guards that bridge.
That's just fucking hilarious.
He's
like,
screaming for his son because his son, he knows his son's gonna die, and as you just shoved him off a cliff.
Well, not even that. It's more, what's funny about it is like if you're the average player like me, all you hear is him yell Robert in a game that takes place in like feudal Japan. And you're like, why? Like it's so like this isn't like a main story plot you know about. This is like, I bet you find this out through some item description or something. Yeah. Like there's
I think it's either like the description of the actual boss's like memory, because I can't remember if he gives you a memory or not, or it's like one of the items like right after talks about his son. It might be the prayer bead that's like comes from him. Is what it is.
The random little piece of garbage that you'd need to go focus on to find out why this character did a thing that is so out of character for everything else in the series.
The best part is the Japanese dub where he goes Roberto. He falls. He holds the O too.
That's what I'm saying is there's just love for these games, even though like the story, like they're talking about an Elden Ring movie. And I don't know how that's going to work. Like,
you can't even, it's like, I could be like talking about like the lore, like why this movie wasn't good, like assuming when the movie does come out, why this is good because they didn't do this in reference to the lore, and you'd just be like nodding along.
I understand. I have no opinion. You'd be speaking Chinese to me, dog. I don't get it. I couldn't tell you the plot of a single one of the Soulslikes I've played. Not one of them. And maybe I could try and get like relatively close. But even ones I've beaten, I know I've beaten Darksouls 3 more than once. I think I've gotten close to Sekiro twice. No idea what they're about though. Sorry, gimmick bosses. Nah, I don't like them. I don't like gimmick bosses in any game. Usually in other games they're like, well, this boss is a rail shooter or something. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that either.
I like them just for the change of pace. They help other bosses stand out. They're never very good though, is the problem.
No.
They're never
It's not like I want to do that again.
Now, to kind of cap off our discussion about bosses, how do you guys view the arms race that's happening in this genre of player skill and tool sets evolving versus the harder and harder bosses we're getting? Because we're going to hit a breaking point where people cannot keep up. Because thinking back about Promise Consort Radon and just how absurd each new DLC boss is getting, because they're usually the hardest bosses in each game is the DLC bosses, but they're just getting more and more absurd.
I don't know, because like the older bosses in older games were more difficult because you were limited, I guess. You had less to work with. Maybe movement was terrible. Maybe fighting mechanics weren't quite there yet. I feel like some of those older ones would feel harder than, I don't know. I guess like when I play these games, I always feel like, yeah, this is hard, but it's doable. Like regardless of what the boss is, I know that it's doable. So I don't feel that feeling you're talking about, like the boss is just getting harder and harder.
I mean, we tried to do Promise Cards for Radon, the three of us, for your game, and we just couldn't do it for 2 hours. We just got
but that's to be expected. Dude, that one lady I was fighting before was harder to me. You remember when I was doing the Elden Ring DLC without using the the ghost thing you can use, whatever that's called. I don't know what it is. What is that called?
The Mimic tier?
Mimic?
The Mimic tier. And I did the one lady I fought. I must have fought that woman for like 5 straight hours and only got worse. I don't know what the deal was. I could not beat her until I went to bed and tried again the next day.
Well, I mean, you literally walked into the Radon's fight, saw it once, and went, "Fuck this! I'm summoning my Spirit Ash." Literally went, "What? How the fuck am I gonna do this alone? I need my homie." Like, it's just such a fucking crazy fight. Like, it was one of the big contention points of that DLC when it released. It's just how absurd that boss was.
Yeah, I think the only reason I got through at the end is because I think he grabbed my Mimic tier instead of me on accident and one-shot him, and I was fine to hit the buttons.
Because, like, the other thing is, like, when Elden Ring first releases, people were losing their minds on Melania. Melania is such a fucking crazy fight.
Yeah, but I'd still do that one way more than I would do, like, when you're going up the temple, or where, oh man, I wish I knew the terminology for all this. When you're going up the stairs and there's that one giant, like, homeless person with a knife, he's like, he's just a guy in rags, and then he's got a knife and he's dashing all around the arena, and he's huge, like he's a dragon-sized person. I don't know what that is, but I hated that. Worse than Melania. I think it was easier too. I just hated it. I think that's the big enemy problem. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
I don't know what he is. In Elden Ring, when you're going up the stairs at the end of the game, and there's like boss after boss after boss, and this boss is like a big bandit with a knife or something. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
I'm like, now I'm curious who you're talking about. Are you talking about?
I'll find it.
Elden Ring's base game or its DLC?
The base game.
Base game. It's part of the final gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
After you fight Malekith. You gotta work with me.
I am trying. You know what? You continue. I'll find this boss.
Are you talking about the boss at the top of the mountaintops? I'm struggling. I want to know so bad who the fuck you're talking about. Because giant homeless person in rags with a knife. I'm like struggling to figure out who that could be.
Oh man, I wish I could tell you. You go up the stairs and it's like a big circular area. I think it's Elden or Dark Souls 3. Okay, you know, there's
it's not even Elden.
It's Elden Ring. It's got to be Elden Ring. You're like there's the place that you're jumping. Oh my god. Okay, it's. Don't you go up into the sky at some point in Elden Ring, and then there's like a floating rubble castle?
Yes, Fair Missoula.
Okay, and then there's like dog people in there.
The Beastmen, yes.
The Beastmen. Okay.
Beastmen of Fair
So
Missoula.
I think it's some point after that, or like at the end of that, and you fight this guy, and he's like a giant man.
Are you talking about the Beast Clergyman and Malekith? It's one of the same. Because he has a phase too, where like he takes the cloak melts away.
Yeah, he's got a phase too. Yep, the Beast Clergyman. That's what I'm thinking of. I do not like that. He's a big homeless guy with a knife.
I love that you
wrong?
completely like. That's what you remember is his homeless-looking phase one, and not the fucking death-dealing, intimidating full beast in full armor.
No, I just remember I gotta go fight this homeless guy again.
Holy shit!
I'm like, why is this guy so big and homeless? Yeah, that's the guy. I did not like that. He was mean and fast and big and homeless. What was the question again?
Just the arms race that's happening of like player skills improving and tool sets improving, and then FromSoft making harder and harder bosses. Because also there was like Liza P. fucking DLC Arlecchino, the final boss of that. Is probably the hardest Souls boss I've fought.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's hard to say yes or no to that because like it's a genre of game for people that specifically want hard games, and it's an art form to make bosses and games like this where they are difficult, but they don't just feel like, oh well, this thing just has 1,000,000 HP. It's a sponge. It's just not like The Division where it didn't get hard at the end. Everything just started taking forever because it had more HP to deal with, or they hit so hard like you only get one shot or something. Like, to balance that out and still make it feel doable and fun is really impressive stuff. So I don't feel that that's an issue,
because I'm starting to feel that we're getting very close to the point where it's going to start becoming a real big problem.
Do you guys remember that that NVIDIA thing that they showed off, like I think about a year ago, with the AI driven bosses? You guys remember that?
I do not.
No.
So I think it was Mir 5, which isn't out yet. It's an MMO that supposedly is going to be, it's supposed to release last year and it never did. So I don't know where it's at. But they showed off a boss for like a raid for the MMO that's powered by a machine learning model that learns from the fights that it has with players. So the more people that fight it, the better it gets at fighting players over time.
I mean, the idea there is dope. The problem is execution. We're down the road. Like, if you weren't one of the first to do it, it is not happening anymore.
It's just gonna cheese you like
Yeah.
the ass.
Literally, someone said, so it's just gonna stand like the corner of the room and just spam garbage. Is what you're telling me? After like a month,
quits. It just learns to quit.
It
finds its way out
like
of the map.
DDoSes you. It's like, I'll defeat you outside of the game since my power doesn't lie in here.
No, I could totally see that as a problem, and it reminds me too of funny enough, like Five Nights at Freddy's, because Scott Cawthon, when he was making his games, like of the Five Nights at Freddy's series, he got to a point, and he said this in an interview, where he actually could not beat some of the nights in his own games anymore. Like he actually couldn't beat it, so he would just make levels and make these challenges. Not really sure if they could actually be done. So it's totally like a thing where developers like can make something that is like too difficult, where things that actually, you know, they're doing it because the community wants it, but it's a question of like, should it be done if we might get to a point where most people can't even accomplish this thing? You know, what would be the point after a certain while, you know?
It makes me think of all those Mario Maker levels I've seen where I'm like, why? There's no way the person who made this also beat it. Like, that's not. Do you have to beat them to like publish a level?
Yes.
I don't know, but
You do.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
But then I also heard the other day that sometimes the good level creators will put like a little cheat in there, like a specific block that you can hit that'll take you straight to the end.
Death paths.
Yeah, they'll do that. Or sometimes there's also been like multiple just like exploits found that just let you post it without having to beat it legitimately.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could make any game. Like, there's never been a game that nobody's ever beat, right? Like, no matter how hard a game is, people are gonna beat it. It's just the nature of gamers,
Yes,
I guess.
but will it still be fun for the average person is the problem.
I mean, people have fun with that Jump King, and I hate that. I hate Jump King. So, I mean, I guess it's all subjective at a certain point, right? I don't know. It is, I mean, like, it's specifically a genre where difficulty is king. On top of that, even if something is too difficult, because you're mentioning it now, I'm thinking of like every time, like which one was it? Kazan and the Elden Ring DLC, and then something else you were talking about. You had the devs went back and like, okay, sorry, we're making this a little easier because people were not having fun.
You know, they both Radon has got nerfed in both forms. They've adjusted him in both forms, like both the original Radon in Elden Ring, and then Promise Consort Radon has been changed. And then also the scaling of the DLC was also lessened so that less fragments were needed. Like it was more front loaded with its buffs.
Mm. Oh yeah, I forgot you needed like little doodads to make you stronger or weaker or something.
I fucking went to help for Promise Consort Radon like the second or like the day after I beat him for 5 to 6 hours and no one won. Not a single victory. That boss was insane.
That's how some of my days with Monster Hunter went. With Savage Omega. Just a whole day of losing. Not a single win. I'm gonna go beat up this Chatacabra so I feel better.
Because the biggest thing that I think is making these harder and harder is the fact that the paces of the bosses are getting faster and faster.
Yeah.
That might be a little game specific, but yeah.
I think it's that there's so much VFX or FX effects. I can't see what's actually happening.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely part of Promise Consort Radon getting flashbanged by the Bandai Namco screen.
I can't see.
But
I had to turn my monitor off real quick.
But to move on from our discussion about bosses, and to some more mechanical things, what mechanics do you think could be left out of the genre? Do you think aren't necessary? If any.
I'm not sure, because like Souls-like games in general are fairly like bare bones compared to a lot of games. Like they're not that complicated most of the time.
I would like them to stop making it so I can kill the NPCs and fuck up my entire run on accident. That needs to go away. I don't like that. The amount of times I've killed somebody and went, oh no, did I just miss out on like the best stuff or the best, I don't like that. I don't know why that's in there. Nobody does it. Let's not keep it in there.
I don't think I've ever accidentally killed an NPC before.
I don't think I've done it either.
Yeah,
that wasn't like me attacking someone because I set up my controller.
Is it Darksouls? There's one like sad homeless crow who's like laying on the ground who's an NPC.
Darksouls.
And he's hanging out around. Is it Dark Souls?
2? Is the one
No, it's got to be 3. Maybe it's 2. Anyway, there's like a whole bunch of crows that attack you, and then he's just kind of hanging out with them, I think.
Oh, are you talking about Dark Souls 3? The first DLC. Where it's the dude in the chair? The dude sitting in the chair.
I think so, yeah. And I ran up and smacked the fuck out of him. And he went, ugh. I went, no, oops. I didn't know.
Dude sitting in his chair, you break into his house and beat him to death. Why did they let me do this?
How? I would never in that world think that somebody would just be chilling in a chair in a house. Like, how does anything even survive in Elden Ring?
It's sitting in a chair.
Clearly they don't, because you're here.
You are the final threat for these. You are the great filter for this species.
Oh, well. Here comes the bad ending. Sorry.
So in line with that, How would you iterate and improve upon the genre? Like, what would you like to see done to improve it? Because one thing we're talking about is better cameras. Like,
Better
please.
cameras.
Better targeting. Dude, the targeting on some of the large creatures, yeah, I guess that goes under with better camera. But like it just annoys me that my only options are left foot, right foot. Like, what is that? Like, come on.
Because you know what would happen with those larger bosses would be locked out of their face? It would just like pan the camera straight up and you just wouldn't see anything but the head.
Give me the option at least. Like,
you'd be getting the fucking free red shot and nothing else.
I don't care. Like, I feel like it should at least be an option more than left foot, right foot, and that's it. Like, give me something. Oh my gosh, it's so terrible. But yes, better cameras would be very nice.
I would like them to include, after you beat the games, like, fight this boss again, huh? Okay. That'd be cool. Or
That's
like a special boss run. I think Sekiro does that, right?
Yes, Liza P also does it. It has a boss
I
rematch
think that
challenge.
should be in every game.
One thing I would like to see is that kind of an iteration of the co-op system is the fact that hosts who need help should be able to put down their sign as well. Basically saying, I need help, someone come help me.
Yeah, better multiplayer functionality could be a
That's
very
what
nice
that's
thing
what
to
I was
have.
definitely wanting. You guys was expecting you guys to say about the could be left out of the game. It was their fucking convoluted as fuck multiplayer system.
But it's so immersive, the way you don't know anything that's going on in the game, and we don't know anything about making a multiplayer system functional.
I mean, I just absolutely need the experience. So if I need help for this boss, looks over at nearby person, it's 13 slurs in a row. Yes, this is the helper I need.
Like, in all the games that I play, I could never, like, it's just a me thing, but like I don't know who's coming to help and who's coming to hit me. Whatever shows up, it could try and kill me. That's all I know. So I better start hitting it, even if it's an old guy in a chair. Everything up until this point has killed me if I haven't killed it first. Why is the guy in the chair different?
The best part is when you're talking about Bloodborne, it's not. He's going to beat the shit out of you at the end of the game. Because From Software loves their old man boss fights.
That's true. They do. They're pretty cool.
Do you have any hot takes about the genre? Anything you would consider a hot take?
Ooh. I don't like I think the status effect system in Dark Souls is really stupid.
Which part are you talking about?
Just
All
most
of
of them. Yeah, pretty much. Especially because most of them just kill you. Like, you'll just die if it happens to you. And most of the time, like, if something has a status effect, it pretty much almost always procs it instantly. Like, if you don't have anything to protect you against it, you're just cooked. And it's very, very frustrating.
Yeah, I don't have any hot takes. I mean, swamps suck. Bleeding sucks.
It's mostly
Like-
yeah. A lot of them are kind of the same too. At least they feel the same. It's pretty much
Yeah,
just
the status effects. Yeah, I'm just gonna eventually I'm gonna hear a and then all my life is gonna go away. I don't know what it is, but that's what's gonna happen.
that one's
what's-
death. What's that one? Oh, death.
Petrification, which is also death. What's that? Bleeding?
Because
Death.
each game has their own insta-kill status effect. I'm actually not sure Bloodborne has one. No, Bloodborne has Frenzy, which is madness, basically.
Yeah.
What does it do? Death.
You know what my
too.
hot take is I don't think they need to be as cryptic as they are. Like, I feel like the games could do with a little more hand holding. Like, sure, keep all the mechanics and stuff difficult, but like like when I think about Night Rain and how little I would have played that game if it was just me and like trying to learn all the information, even Elden Ring, all the Souls likes that come my way, I go, this will be fun only if I have Jacob telling me where to go. Otherwise, this game can get fucked. I'm not wasting my time wandering around having one page open on the wiki for every interaction. Like that's not, I don't think it needs to be that convoluted.
I think
especially
Elden
when it comes to
Ring-
the lore.
Elden Ring surprisingly did a fairly decent job at guiding you where to go.
The real big
considering
problem,
it was
the
like
real
open
big
world.
problem, the big problem with Elden Ring was quest lines. It's always the quest
Yeah,
lines that are the
quest
big
lines sucked.
that are always the problem.
And I remember there was only, I think there was one instance where I got lost, and I didn't know where to go. But other than that one spot, I was actually surprised I did not get more lost.
It's kind of hard to actually get fully lost in Elden Ring with everything pointing you, with the
Yeah.
graces pointing you in a direction.
Yeah, they do a good job just like showing you where to go most of the time. I think the issue I had was getting to that like top left section of the map, like getting into there.
I just missed the
Um,
ladder that you climb up.
Yeah, I missed like, and there's multiple ways to get there too, and I missed like all of them. I think I actually eventually had to ask you like how I get there because I got so confused.
Yeah, no, I walked
really
past the
couldn't find a
ladder
way.
like 3 or 4 times. I just went. I kept going back because I'm like, this is there's absolutely a way because I know that the way they designed it. All of a sudden, I finally fucking saw the ladder that I got missing. I just like failed the spot check like 5 times in a row.
Yeah, but you are right. Everything is very cryptic in that game.
Well,
or in
like
those
you
types
can
of
keep the
games.
story exactly how it is. I wish it told the story in a little better way, which I guess would make the community less happy. Yeah, that would be my hot take because the community loves to like go over every inch and speck and word and dust mote in the corner and see how it relates to what the story is being told in each specific
Specifically,
game.
I don't want Souls games to do that, but I also don't want other games to do what Souls games do. In terms of like, not if that makes sense. I enjoy the Souls games that they do this and they tell their lore and world building through this way, but it's not a thing that every game should do, even most games should do. But it's something that I enjoy the Souls games for doing, is learning about things through their item descriptions and piecing stuff together. Because that's always a fun part of a first playthrough for me. For the mainline Souls games themselves.
Yeah, I still don't even know if you were alive or dead in Elden Ring.
Yes.
Like exactly. Like I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I didn't care. I just wanted to play the game. Look at my horse.
Look at my horse. This is amazing.
So, to move on to some more smaller questions, like more focused questions I had to kind of cap this off. Because we touched on this one, difficulty being an integral part of Soulslikes, because I consider that the difficulty to be an integral part of this genre. Would you agree?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. That's what everyone knows it for. The Souls-like genre is known for its difficulty, specifically its boss fights.
Yep. And then there's a lot of contention about games ever announcing difficulty levels in this genre.
I mean like easy and hard mode and stuff.
Yep.
I don't know if this is what you're asking, but I don't think these games should have like a different version. It should always be the one mode.
I agree,
That-
especially for the mainline FromSoft games. No, for the mainline FromSoft games, do you consider them fair games? Because I see a lot of people argue back and forth about this, about whether or not they're fair.
Speaking for 3 and Elden Ring, I would say so.
I would say for the most part they are, though each game certainly has some unfair aspects.
Yeah, I think I beat them all, so they gotta be fair to like.
Something
the biggest
could be unfair and still beatable.
Well, yeah. I mean, you said I actually listened to you talking about Kazan a while back, and you kept talking about like, yeah, it just kind of has platforms that will drop out from under you for no reason, which I don't feel should be in the same vein as this. Excuse me.
Especially the fact, like, one of the things, because I feel like someone taking their time and going slowly will avoid most like gotcha moments that happen in these games, like enemy sighting around corners. I don't think the player ever gets completely blindsided for the most part.
I don't know. That one place that I didn't give up, but I remember mostly in Dark Souls 2 where you're creeping through the rafters and there's the swamp below you, and every time you go somewhere, some dick is waiting to shoot you with a bow or something and knock you off. I didn't like that place.
I mean, that's just fucking the gutters level design. It's just
it's
rough.
The worst. I hate that place.
Rickety Ladderville.
Oh, here's a giant Ferris wheel or something? I don't know. I gotta make my way down to the bottom where everything is poison.
Because one of the things that gets me in Dark Souls 2 is there's a chest towards the beginning of the game that gets turned into a mimic on New Game Plus, which I think is very funny but very, very rude.
I can't believe, why were there no mimics in Elden Ring? I hit every chest first. All through the whole game.
Who knows? It's very strange why they didn't include mimics. They've been in every other game. I guess not Sekiro either.
Now that I think about it, there's one boss in Sekiro I never beat. And it was
the Demon of Hatred.
No, not that guy. It was, I think I didn't even try. It was like in the dark, there's like a guy who's throwing souls around in a cave.
Oh, the headless? Yep,
and I just ran by him every time and never even tried it.
If it's either the headless or the Shinamichi warriors or whatever. But if it's the one I'm thinking of, there's literally an ability where you can just, anytime they jump up, you can just deathblow them for it.
No. Yeah,
it makes them very easy.
Yeah.
And then to move on to our next question, do these worlds need to be desolate and make you feel isolated? Do you think that is a requirement for Soulslikes? Because for vast majority of these Souls games, Souls-like games, the world is always like on the brink of ruin or has already like far beyond ruin. And it just feels like there's like very little signs of sanity around. Everything is broken down. Like the golden age has already passed.
I don't think it hurts, to be honest. It definitely.
I know you said that you really enjoyed like this kind of aspect of them, right? Earlier, you kind of touched on it,
like the setting. Mm-hmm.
I want to like have a Souls-like in a crowded mall.
That's just the mall.
Like, is there like a future? Is there like a future Souls-like where like? I mean, maybe I won't just hit somebody random because,
but like there's the most futuristic I can think of off the top of my head.
Maybe not futuristic, but like, I guess the populated world, because that's one thing that always sticks out to me in these games. I'm like, how does anybody exist in these worlds? Like, what do you eat? Where do you go to the bathroom? Are we all dead? Is this purgatory? Because I can't explain any of this any other way.
Well, it's just the undead for the most part. In the main Souls series, are cursed with undeath until eventually they can still
die.
They can die. They'll just come back.
Oh,
it's just eventually they go insane, which is what Halloween is.
So purgatory,
to an extent. And then there's always certain things that can kill you for good in these series, which are usually excluded in gameplay for reasons that are probably very apparent. Because there's technically quite a few bosses in Elden Ring that should just kill you, and your playthrough should be done if you lose to them.
What is this? No, I still haven't even finished Dispatch, you fucker. I have so many games.
What did you just get?
Jedi, Star Wars, Souls-like.
Did you get it?
We got it.
You might get 6.
6?
Because I tried to send that to you like a while ago and it wasn't working. And I tried like 3 more times and it never worked. So you might have more copies coming. I think Steam's having
Jedi
problems.
time.
Well, it's $3. It was $3.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Then I'll accept it. If it's $3, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
if you get
hating on
more,
it.
you should refuse those, though. Please.
Nope, I'm taking them all, and I'm gonna have to beat every single one of them. That way, you can't refund it.
Oh,
Eat that
gosh.
$9.
And then to kind of cap this off, what do you think about the community of Souls-like players?
Oh gosh, you're asking the hard questions.
Because there's I want to split this into, I would split this into 2 parts because I have 2 different views. I love the in-game community of like the people I play, like randomly matchmake with and play. Like some of my favorite things are PvP and memories are PvP and in Dark Souls 3. I eventually just started a fight club of 6 people beating the shit out of each other with fucking broken poison shields. That was a great time where because when I was farming for Covenant items, I ended up amassing like 30 to 40 of these poison shields. So when I was hosting a fight club later, like in that save, I just started dropping the shields and I just started having people fight to the death with these shields. It was very inefficient but very funny. And eventually I just started a fucking 6-way brawl.
The only thing that I find annoying, at least to me, is like any attempts to criticize anything about most Dark Souls games or similar.
This is the other part, is the online community, like forum communities.
Yeah, is immediately met with get good, you're trash. Like, I beat it first try, you just wait for the nerfs, lol. Like, it's just that over and over again, which is not the majority, I'm very sure.
But it's what you remember.
It's a staple. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely something that totally makes a lot of people reluctant to even like talk bad about like major flaws in the series. So yeah. That's what it is for me.
I think I prefer this community over like Marvel Rivals community or League community. At least like the people in Dark Souls community, they love, well, I guess any Souls, like they just love the game, right?
They're simple
and they may be rude. they will like, I don't know. They're just not.
You're talking about a community
somebody
who's one of their calling signs and like most quotable things is try-finger butthole. Remember that?
And praise the sun and all, like
an amazing chest ahead.
Yeah, which is, I don't know, like that's like it's way like I go on the Marvel community on the subreddits and they're just bitching about Spider-Man and they have been for like a year now. That's all they, and if it's not Spider-Man, it's Hawkeye or some like I think, I don't know. I see a lot less bitching about the game itself, but that also lends to what you were saying, where like you're not allowed to say anything about it either.
I mean, the other thing is the community also has people like, Levi Soloway, who became a massive aspect of the community of Elden Ring.
That one guy who beat like every Souls game in a row without getting hit in any of them in a row.
I think there's been a couple at this point, right?
Yeah, there's one guy that did it first. No one's done the Elden Ring edition, Godrun 3 yet. No one's done Godrun 3. Still waiting.
I was thinking, like, would you guys, if somebody gave you
3 people have, I think, finished Godrun 3 at this point.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't hear about it.
I think Gino's done it. I think Dino's. Because it's what? Godrun 3 is 1, 2, 3, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Elden Ring, right? In a row, I think.
Yeah.
I want to say that because I think a few people have done. I think it's. Someone's even done it at level 1. What the fuck?
I was going to say, if somebody gave you like $1 million in a year, do you think you could like that would be the prize, is $1 million, or nothing if you couldn't do it, would you sign up to spend a year playing a Souls game and and getting to the end without getting hit?
Probably.
You could do
a
that?
single
$1
game,
million?
a single game no hit.
Or you didn't make anything, that, or if you don't finish it or complete it, you don't get the money.
What's the negative?
That you'd have to spend all year trying. You don't okay. Let's say,
is it an any percent? Like any percent no major glitches is kind of how we would define this.
yeah. I don't even know why the $1 million, because you'd have to if you'd have to quit your job to do it. Like you couldn't work every day and still make this.
Because I could potentially do a single game in a year. Like I could see myself potentially no hitting Dark Souls 3 if I was specifically playing like that. I would not have a swell time with it.
I guess some of the older ones you can cheese with magic, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with Dark Souls 1 is that you can't no-hit it.
Yeah, how
without
did I not
glitches.
hear about this? Huh, yeah, it was done back in not long after Elden Ring came out.
It's because these people are fucking insane. That's why.
That's crazy.
All right. Well, is there anything else?
Last little thing was, do you think the quality of of non-From Software Souls-like games have been increasing?
Oh, absolutely. Increasing, yeah.
Because I think they've considerably increased, especially in these past few years. We're starting to get some games that are on par with the From Software ones, like Liza P.
If anything,
Yeah,
I
Liza
think,
P.
AAA games have been getting lower in quality compared to indie games. I think indie games are definitely getting way better over time. And that includes
Just across the board. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because
across the
AAA,
board.
you don't want to invest money in something that's a gamble, so you got to do the same over and over again.
The thing with early Souls non From Software, before, just to kind of ballpark it, before COVID, is they are really rough. Like original Lords of the Fallen, Code Vein 1.
Code Vein 2 though came out, and
Code Vein 2 is not great.
yeah, it's great. Big lady. They got a big
I saw
lady
the
in there.
Donkey video. He was having fun with it.
I have not seen the Donkey video. I should probably watch that.
Oh, we'll watch that after it. It's pretty standard, but he was having a little bit of fun.
A little bit
The
of fun.
big lady. Yeah.
Yeah, big lady.
Big lady. Dark Souls with a story, huh?
Which is that what he said
Code
about Code Vein
Vein.
2?
No, that's what I said, because I couldn't tell you anything about Elden Ring or Dark Souls or any of them.
The Elden string.
Hobo with a
Tarnished.
knife. Hobo with a knife.
Giant hobo with a knife.
I was
my
just trying to
biggest
figure out
fear.
what you were talking.
I'm surprised you couldn't, because that's all I saw. I guess
Because I said Malekith at one point, and you didn't say that was it, or you
because
didn't
I don't
say
know
it.
their names.
I noticed, and I forgot to factor that into my equation. I bet you don't know a fucking goddamn thing about these games sometime.
It's specifically terminology in video games.
That's not terminology. That's people's
capacity.
names. They're literally on screen when you're fighting them. You have fought some of these dudes for 4
I'm not
hours.
looking at his name. I'm looking at his health bar. I'm not reading.
Right next to each other.
No, I still struggle in the Potemkin Discord to understand what the inputs they're talking about are. And I have damn near 1,500 hours in that game on that character. And
I know.
he means
this
heat
is probably
tackle.
also part of the
Okay.
reason why what the convolutedness of these games means so daunting and so.
Well, okay, so it's not daunting. It's that I refuse to even investigate. If you're not going to tell me exactly, if you're not going to tell me exactly what I need to know through cutscene or through I'm not digging through items and stuff. This is a game about dying. I don't care what my items are.
Why am I
I'll have
dying
Jacob
so
tell
much?
me which ones I need to keep. I don't think the one thing I hated is I played Dark Souls 3 because it was my first no, it wasn't my first. I didn't really understand about it, but I played all the way through like half the game, a full half of the game, like not understanding that I shouldn't just put like some points here and some points there, and I ended up with this weird like fire spell, what do you call it? Spell sword or something that at a certain point just stopped working, and I had to restart the whole game and like spec towards something that was usable. I don't like that. I want to just respec whenever. Although you might be able to in that one later on. I don't remember. Anyway, are we good? Do we have anything else?
That's all my major things. Anything that you wanted to touch on that I didn't?
Elden Ring movie update. The movie will contain the word Elden and ring in the title. I don't know. What do you think about an Elden Ring movie by A24?
I better not know a damn thing that's happening the entire time. I don't want to understand
feeling worse
anything.
than I got it.
All I need is I need to watch it with you guys so you can watch me lose my mind.
And me just not have any idea why.
Oh, Alex Garland is directing. He did 28 Days Later and Annihilation and Ex Machina. He's actually a good director. I think we talked about this when we were doing it.
Sounds familiar.
I would have loved to have been at the meeting where they took the director and they got the guy that had to explain all the lore.
That's wild. You could not tell somebody like the plot of it and sell somebody. The only way they made that movie is they went, hey, this game sold 1 billion copies. Everybody knows it. And they would go wild for a movie. And they go, okay. There's no way you could sell this otherwise.
Like, because they had to have tried to explain it at some point. And I want to be there at that conversation to see what exactly
I don't think they have. You heard what the deal was with Alien and Aliens sequel?
No.
Where, like, the famous quote is that the guy who directed Aliens went up to the execs or Alien, and he went up to the execs and wrote the word alien on the whiteboard and then an S with a line through it for the money symbol and said, we're just going to make the sequel Aliens and it's going to be money. And they're like, bravo, let's go. Like, you would have had to do something like that with this. Like, just
that is genius, though, to be fair.
I don't know how true that is, but that's the general consensus of how Alien 2 got greenlit.
Because money.
Money. Just start throwing money at people. Look, this is how it's going to be. Just throwing cash in the air. Woo, Elden Ring. That'll make more sense than the story I have to tell you.
Do we even have like a release date for that movie? No, probably
Oh, no,
not.
there's no
Definitely
information
not.
on it. There's not. This is like, might as well
There's
not
a
be
few
real.
video game movies that I, like, from what I understand, are just stuck in limbo. And I'm very interested to see what's going to come of them.
Ooh, what are the other ones?
The Zelda one is what I'm thinking of.
Oh, that's never gonna be anything good.
Monster Hunter 2.
That'll be just as good as it'll be fine. It can't be worse. Oh, it can be worse than the first one.
It can always be
It
worse.
can always be worse. Yep.
That movie was like, man, that was an adventure. I still remember lose my when Ron Perlman just shows up speaking perfect English. And it didn't even try to explain why he can speak English when we spent like the last hour trying to get past this whole language barrier crap. Anyway, that's from franchise.
You're right. I forgot about that. She's like, they bonded over a chocolate bar because he couldn't speak English. And then he goes, oh, here's my best friend, Ron Perlman, who speaks perfect English. That's where I've been trying to bring you the whole time. Don't worry about it.
Oh,
All right, I think we're good. If you have any Souls-like tips and tricks, I don't know, recommendations, games we haven't heard of, maybe like
Bright Souls.
New bracelet.
What?
Oh,
It's not Elden Ring, it's new bracelet.
Hand it
Anyway,
over your thing, your bracelet.
the one bracelet. I don't know. We're done. It's late. All right.
That's Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I know. That's why I walked away from it. I'm getting confused. We're out of here. If you have any questions or comments,
function.
Look, we're gonna have to have a long conversation about what information I choose to keep stored in my brain, because it's not all this Elden Ring.
What is there? I'm looking through my 1,500 hours of Potemkin. Like,
Yeah.
what isn't kept up there is concerning.
No, Captain Crunch boxes and Crunchitize me, Cap. Old 90s commercials. I got some jingles
The
for
only
you.
thing up
You
here
want
is
some
your
jingles?
dad's email. Like,
Can't stop thinking about your dad. Okay, leave a question or comment or a 5-star or a like or anything, or send an email, giantmancrappod@gmail.com, and we will catch you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
bye.